Hello and welcome to another round of the MotoGP Esport Global Series. We've had one virtual installment so far, and now it's time for more speed, more excitement, and of course, more drama. My name is Conor Doherty, and I am joined by my dear colleague, Chris Jordan, for this event. Chris, how excited are you?
I'm very excited. Lovely words as ever, Connor. Thank you very much. But yes, I am excited for the second round of this year's campaign because round one was thrilling, it was exciting, it was dramatic, it had nearly everything we wanted. And I can only expect, perhaps hope, but I would say expect that there will be more of the same now in round two.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are so many questions from the opening round that need to be answered. Is Davide Turrisi going to be able to maintain the incredible form that we saw in round one? Are the riders like Jack Hammer and Adrian, our world champions, going to be able to really step it up this year? Because we've been maybe missing something from them. If you want the answers to these questions, well, please join the conversation. Speak to us on social media. Use the hashtag. Join the conversation, MotoGPeSport. We can't wait to hear from you. And we'll, of course, be reading everything that you write on there. And someone else will be reading as well, obviously, the gamers. Let's take a look at who we've got on our grid.
Yeah, some just really, really great pedigree riders here. You've got Jack Hammer, Daniele Aloe, Davide Turrisi, who we already mentioned as the rider to catch so far in 2025. Then you have Adrian. I mentioned Jack Hammer again. They are our previous world champions. But what about the rookie down, number 15, Julito Campion? He was impressive first time out, and I think he might impress us again in round two here. Who else do we have? We have Piero Rasciuti as well, who's in the championship fight. So many riders of outstanding quality here fighting it out for esports glory in 2025.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic in round one. Let's take a look at exactly what happened.
The Global Series exploded into life at the first stage of the MotoGP Esport Championship. It kicked off with 3 pulsating outings during round one.
The highly anticipated season opener was the first of 2 virtual events this year, before the live, in-person finale at Milan Games Week at the end of November, where the stunning Italian city will bear witness to the crowning of this year's MotoGP Esport champion.
What an event that promises to be. But let's take a look at where we began. The 3-lap Tiso sprint in Jerez had drama from the very off as favourites. Daniele Aloe and Jack Hammer endured tough starts, while Davide Turrisi took an early lead. Piero Rasciuti ran the Aprilia rider hard and was never more than half a second behind. Rising star and Global Series rookie Julito Campion finished an amazing third to complete the podium.
What a statement from the rookie, and of course from Davide Turrisi, who really starred. And you can see what it meant to him there. Race 1 at Silverstone followed a similar pattern as Turrisi led from the front with Jack Hammer stalking his every move. Despite the reigning champion's efforts, the Aprilia rider broke clear to dominate the contest, winning by 3.2 seconds at the checkered flag. Deepo Akbar secured the final spot on the podium, stepping onto the rostrum for the very first time.
Yeah, an absolutely brilliant ride from the Indonesian, I should say, as he withheld the pressure. Race 2 at the Circuit of the Americas then saw another thrilling encounter. It was an epic 3-way fight between Rasciuti, Aloe and Turrisi, with the LCR Honda rider winning by just 0.03 of a second. Daniele Aloe recovered well from 2 tricky opening races to finish second, while star of the day, Davide Turrisi, came third.
Yeah, what a performance from Davide Turrisi. And the round 1 excitement meant that Turrisi, on 53 points, takes the advantage into round 2. But the question is, will he be able to keep up the momentum? That really is the question, and we've already posed it to ourselves so many times. Round 2 coming up now. The first race is the Tiso Sprint in Indonesia. So let's take a look at what our gamers are coming up against.
So Mandalika International Circuit has become a staple on the MotoGP calendar in recent years, and in esports it is no different. 17 turns, 6 left-handers, 11 right-handers, but it is a fast, it is a flowing circuit based on the island of Lombok. And I think it's become a bit of a favourite of ours, Connor.
Yeah, absolutely. Without a doubt, one of my favourite venues in MotoGP and, of course, in esports. Such a stunning location, and that's something for all of us to enjoy as well.
Absolutely. So, let's see how our riders get on in the Tissot Sprint at Mandalika, because I think it's going to be another cracker. The way this year has gone, I think it's going to take a brave man to bet against a good race in Indonesia.
Absolutely. So with that said, let's go racing in Indonesia. We're in Indonesia for round 2, the Tissot Sprint opener here in the MotoGP Esport Global Series, surrounded by stunning tropical views in Lombok as we see our grid. Chris, we're in for a real treat here.
Yeah, absolutely. But all riders will be focusing on the rider on pole position, Davide Turisi. His form shows no sign of abating. Remember, he did take victory in the sprint in Jerez during Global Series Round 1, which he followed up with a full-length victory. He'll be looking for a repeat of that feat at Global Series Round 2, Connor.
Yeah, absolutely. He's no stranger to victory here either. He did win back in 2023, but then Daniele Aloe and Adrian have also claimed the top spot on the rostrum here in Indonesia.
Yeah, just about ready to go then here in Mandalika. Eyes on the lights as we get ready to go in the Tissot Sprint for Global Series Round 2. 3 laps of fun await us. It's Turisi on pole ahead of Christian and, of course, Galina Davi. But we are underway and racing, and it looks the perfect start for Turisi, the pole sitter.
Yeah, absolutely. Turisi leading into the first corner, but there's a bit of contact here going in. Christian goes a bit wide. It's still Turisi who's leading for the time being, and he's pulling away slightly here. What a start for the Aprilia rider. He'll be absolutely thrilled with that as the pack battle behind, and Daniele Aloe just pushed a bit wide there. He'll be very frustrated now. He's down to P7 following this pack behind Turisi, who is just pulling away there. Oh, Galina Davi just crashes out there from P6.
Yeah, Galina Davi had gotten off to a wonderful start, but now he has all the work to do again, and that gives Turisi plenty of breathing room out front. The Aprilia rider now leads over our rookie rider, Julito Campion. Remember, Campion was on the podium on debut in that sprint in Jerez, and he is looking to go once again onto the rostrum. Julito Campion. Then it is Adrian who's leading that battle for third ahead of Piero Risciuti. Absolute quality just behind the rookie here, battling for that final spot on the rostrum.
Yeah, Julito Campion. I mean, you can't understate just how fantastic this has been for him. What a start to this Tissot Sprint here for our rookie. And Piero Risciuti, another rider who excelled in round 1. We're on board with him there. We were looking at him briefly at least. He's going to be looking to get onto that podium as well and get his battle at the top with Turisi underway in earnest. It did look in round 1 like he was the rider who would be challenging Turisi most, currently in P4, but there's so much time to go here. Adrian ahead of him as well, so if you're looking to follow the lines that the veteran's taking as you're trying to get their job done.
Yeah, absolutely. A reminder that Adrian is a full-length race winner here in Mandalika back in 2022, while he was on the podium here in 2023 as well. And guess what? He was on the podium once again during the sprint in 2024. So Adrian certainly knows how to get it done. But here comes the challenge from Piero Risciuti. You can see them just in the background as we look back from Julito Campion. Adrian does hold on to the bronze medal position just for the moment, but look at them all grouping up there, a gaggle of riders behind Adrian. You've got Piero Risciuti, Daniele Aloe, the defending 2-time champion of Gresini, Jack Hammer, as well as Christian, all race winners in the MotoGP Esports Championship throughout the years. But it is the 2022 world champion Adrian who holds on to the bronze medal position for now.
Yeah, for now, but Piero Risciuti, you've got to say he's going to be biding his time, looking to make his move when it absolutely needs to be done. And Julito Campion just held up there a bit. And there is Adrian going wide. Is this the opportunity for Piero Risciuti? He's unable to take full advantage of it. And now we're back with Jack Hammer, P6. Not a very familiar position for the English gamer at all. Now in that Gresini livery.
Yeah, onto the final lap we go then through turn 1, and there we go. It's getting physical at the opening corner. Piero Risciuti bounces Adrian out of the way and takes P3 off his hands on this final lap. Does Adrian have a response? Well, he's also got some problems coming from behind him. Daniele Aloe and Jack Hammer looking to mount a challenge for the podium. But what a bold and brazen move from the Italian on the 2022 World Champion. But it has paid dividends for Piero Rusciuti.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at the concentration now on these two riders. They try and complete this lap as well as possible. And there is Jack Hammer, who goes ahead there of Daniele Aloe briefly. Is he going to be able to stay ahead? No, he's not. Something just went wrong there for Jack Hammer, and it's still Adrian now who's leading Aloe in this battle, just behind the leading three. Davide Turrisi well ahead, a full second ahead of Julito Campion.
Yeah, absolutely sensational stuff from the Aprilia rider so far, in a world of his own in this sprint as he now comes in towards the final sector. He just has to keep it clean and tidy, and he is going to take 2 sprint wins, the opening 2 sprint wins of the 2025 campaign. Julito Campion looks set for a podium, but that battle for bronze is raging on, but it is going to be Davide Turrisi who looks like he's going to take the win here ahead of Campion. Rusciuti then looks like he may have just got it covered for P3. Brilliant race, Connor.
Absolutely incredible. Before this Tissot sprint, we were talking about whether Turrisi would be able to consolidate on his round 1 performance. Well, it looks like he's done exactly that. Absolutely sensational. We can see him there with his first win in this round 2, his 3rd of the Global Series so far in 2025, Chris.
Yeah, superb stuff then from Turrisi, who takes the win ahead of Julito Campion, who makes it back-to-back sprint podiums for the rookie. Piero Rusciuti continues his good form for that P3. Adrian, Daniele Aloe, Jack Hammer and Christian all missing out on the podium, while Deepo Akbar, Exo Rock, Galina Davi had that early crash and didn't quite recover, but he did finish ahead of Flavio Baldacci for P10.
So after that round 2 opener, the fantastic Tissot sprint, Davide Turrisi extends his lead at the top of the standings in MotoGPeSport. He leads Piero Rusciuti by 16 points now, and Daniele Aloe is currently 3rd. Jack Hammer is now 4th, 29 points behind the leader, Adrian in 5th. Our rookie Julito Campion is in 6th, Deepo Akbar in 7th, Christian currently P8, Flavio Baldacci in 9th, Ilgalina Davi after that poor start to the Tissot sprint, now 10th, and Exrock in 11th. Chris, that was an absolutely sensational opener for round 2, and I cannot wait to look back at it at the highlights. Let's take a look at them.
Yeah, absolutely superb race, as you say, Connor. Drama from the very beginning, as you can see there. Look at the time screens. P2, Ilgalina Davi crashing out of 2nd, and look at the reaction there. Fury on the face of the Italian. But what that did is open up a gap, an unassailable gap for Davide Turrisi out front. But we were firmly fixed on this battle for P3, and what a battle it was.
Yeah, it was a real battle that played into the hands of Turrisi as well, because that allowed him to extend his lead, which became a full 2nd at one point, I think, when he finished. So yeah, absolutely sensational stuff, but the battle behind was absolutely incredible, and it kept chopping and changing as they really sought to get the best of them. Piero Rusciuti as well bided his time so well to get ahead of Adrian.
Yeah, it was an aggressive move, but on the line, but fair, I would have to say, from Rusciuti as he jumps up to 2nd in the championship. But you can see the frustration there of the Tech 3 rider Ilgalina Davi, but joy for Davide Turrisi, who goes back-to-back in sprints in 2025. And now we've got 2 full-length races coming our way, Connor. Can he do it again?
I mean, given what we've seen so far in round 2, you'd have to say that he's very much capable of doing so. In round 1, he was sensational, a bit of a surprise package. This time around, well, he was sensational in the opener. Let's take a look at what he's able to do in this race 3 then, and have a look at what he's going to be up against.
Yeah, Petronas Sepang International Circuit. What a circuit to test the skills of all the riders here on the 2025 grid. Sepang, of course, one of the most iconic racing destinations in motorsport and, of course, in MotoGP. We've got 5 left-handers, 10 right-handers, but those 2 huge straights are where so many races can be won and lost. But we also have some fast-flowing corners here. But after those straights, we have 4 slow corners. So it really does test the skills of all the riders.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Yeah, a really fascinating circuit, Chris. It was actually the first circuit outside of Europe that MotoGP Esport visited. So let's go racing in Sepang. On to Malaysia then for the first full-length Grand Prix of round 2 of the 2025 MotoGP Esports Global Series. And we're here at the hottest venue in Kuala Lumpur, the Sepang International Circuit. I say it's the hottest venue, but it's looking very humid out there as well, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. You know all about the hottest venues in Kuala Lumpur from your recent trip, so I've been told. Now, we're looking at the extra rock on the outside of the second row. Flavio Baldacci heads up the third row. Of course, MotoGP, the top level of motorcycle racing. We're just in Sepang, and Alex Marquez took the win there, the Gresini rider, securing second in the championship there as well across the weekend. But will there be more joy for Gresini in Sepang today? Jack Hammer aiming for a first win of the campaign in this year's Esports Championship. He's starting on the second row, and very much a rider to keep an eye on as we get the lights out. But it's Piero Rusciuti who launches from pole position ahead of Adrian, and Davide Torrisi just about ready to go for 8 laps here, and we are off and away. So brilliant stuff from Rusciuti. Looks like he has got a good start, but Davide Torrisi from the outside of the front row. Looks like he might have the inside line. No, indeed, it is Adrian who's got the inside line. As a crash in the background there, I think, with Deepo Akbar, who went down.
And Jackhammer as well, yeah. And Aloe, but it is Davide Torrisi who leads. This is such a familiar sight for us now in the 2025 edition of MotoGP Esport. Davide Torrisi leading the way from Adrian and Piero Ricciuti. What a battle that was in the opening exchanges, the opening corners. And as usual, it seems Davide Torrisi is taking the initiative. But what about Julito Campion? Champion by name, not quite by nature just yet, but P5 already in this opening race in round 2. Ahead, just behind of Christian there on that KTM machine. Ricciuti ahead of him. This is much tighter than the Tissot Sprint opener in round 2, at least for the time being.
Yeah, much tighter. So Ricciuti has slotted back into third position from pole, so less than ideal start for the LCR Honda rider. Jack Hammer though, look at this. He is all the way back in P10. This is something we are not that used to. So Jack Hammer is battling at the back here with Daniele Aloe. But out front, it is Adrian who leads this race against the championship leader and sprint winner in Global Series Round 2, Davide Torrisi. And as you mentioned, it's a sight we've become accustomed to seeing. Torrisi, such a talent, and what a breakout campaign he is having in 2025.
Yeah, absolutely. Still not quite there here with Adrian now leading on the machine, and we are back with Julito Campion, who's managed to keep up with these veterans of the MotoGP eSport world. Absolutely fantastic stuff from him. And as we see Adrian there crossing the line, leading after as we head into lap 2.
Yeah, so it is Adrian over Torrisi, which we have seen a couple times this season. This has been the podium makeup a lot in 2025 of Adrian, Torrisi and Piero Rusciuti. Adrian, though, we haven't seen at the front of a race that often. But look at the focus here on the faces of both those riders, Adrian and Torrisi, battling here for the victory.
Yeah, Adrian, of course, finished P2 here back in 2020s. As we've mentioned, the real veteran, more race starts than anyone else in MotoGP eSports, on this grid at least. And he's showing that experience now.
Yeah, Adrian, of course, an experienced veteran of this class, but just hasn't really seen much silverware come his way in 2025. He's a lot of P4s, picked up P4 earlier today as well in the sprint. So this would be certainly some way to take a statement win. However, there is still a long way to go as we come around the first sector here. And yeah, it looks like Adrian is pretty calm and composed out front here, Connor.
Yeah, you'd have to say that's the experience showing. He's got Torrisi right behind him, but Adrian has that really valuable experience that's going to allow him to just hold on, not make mistakes, be as precise as he needs to be, and just do his race. He's got open air in front of him. That's what he needs to do. He needs to not get involved in any of the scraps that might end up happening behind him. For the time being, though, it does seem like a lot of these riders are riding by themselves. Is that going to change as we go to this corner here? Is Julito Campion close enough?
Yeah.
He wasn't, but Teresi almost was there.
Yeah, a few riders ganging up behind him, you have to be said, as we come over and knock off another lap. And Adrian has got a problem coming on the inside, as he is. Teresi just looked like he fancied a little dart up the inside into turn one, and indeed he does. And there has been a change of the lead, but for how long? The number 26 on the Honda bike responds immediately. That is what we are here to see, a brilliant battle between two of the pedigree riders in the MotoGP Esports Championship. What have you got in your locker now, Davide Teresi? Let's see. Adrian will not be easy to overtake, but he's got the inside line there. Nothing going though. Adrian had the better drive coming out of the corner.
Yeah, what a duel between these two that we're witnessing here. Teresi got ahead for milliseconds there, but Adrian just managed to storm ahead again and maintain his lead. Davide Teresi will be desperate to get ahead. He looks like he's just a bit tighter there.
And Adrian runs it
wide. Adrian goes wide, and Teresi takes full advantage and now returns to the lead, and he's putting a few bike lengths there already between himself and Adrian. Is he going to be able to maintain that though?
Yeah, coming through the final sector or so now, 9-10 here. Plenty of overtaking hotspots coming up over the next couple of corners, so Adrian will have an opportunity to respond. But this has been a brilliant lap 3 for Davide Teresi as he continues his flying start to 2025.
Yeah, absolutely slamming the door shut there as Adrian looked like he might have been preparing a move. And here comes Ricciuti, not quite close enough to Adrian to be able to move up into P2. And Teresi now pulling away a little bit from our veteran rider, Adrian.
Yeah, he's got some drive in that Aprilia machine, and Adrian might have some more problems mounting behind him. Indeed, he does. It's Piero Ricciuti, fancies one up the inside. And here we go. Now it's the championship top two in P1 and P2, starting lap 4. Teresi leads Ricciuti, leading Adrian. That is your podium makeup. Then just behind them, you have Cristian and Julito Campion. Not far behind Adrian, but Adrian was leading one lap ago. He's down in third position now. Look at that. Piero Ricciuti, the focus in the eyes as he looks to attack Teresi.
Yeah, absolutely. He's one of our veterans as well. We spend a lot of time talking about Adrian, but Piero Ricciuti made his first appearance back in 2020 in the MotoGP Esports World Championship. He's got 35 starts to his name, and he's been absolutely sensational in this 2025 edition. Maybe we didn't see the best of him last year, but this year we're getting a real treat.
Absolutely. Piero Ricciuti has found form in 2025, victorious at Kota, of course, and he's on pole position in one of these races, in the second race coming up later after brilliant qualifying from the LCR Honda rider. But it's Davide Teresi out front, who's just been, you know, I think we ran out of superlatives for Teresi a long time ago, and I'm still looking for more. But he has been sensational in 2025. But Ricciuti's got a little bit of a tighter line coming around here. Looked like he might fancy a little bit move up the inside, but Davide Teresi then adapted a more defensive line. But Ricciuti is pushing. He is on the ragged edge here as he looks for a winning overtake, or a move at least that would put him into a winning position. There's still plenty of racing to be done here in Sepang.
Yeah, these two at the front are getting very, very, very close. Can he do it on the straight here? Ricciuti, it looks like he might just be able to. He does. Is he able to get ahead of him? No, it's still.
And they both run
the
it wide.
ability of Teresi. Yeah. Maybe just forcing Ricciuti a little bit wide there, managing to maintain the line. Oh, that was absolutely sensational. And now it's Adrian who's in P2. That did not work out well for Ricciuti at all.
It was a bold and brazen move, but as they both went wide, it opened the door for Adrian to pick P2. Pick the pocket of the pole sitter, who's back in P3, and look at this battle for the lead. Adrian takes the outside line. Oh wow, look at this, 4 riders involved, because this is all bringing Cristian into play as well. But this battle is far from over. I have no idea what the podium makeup here is going to be.
I wouldn't rule out Julito Campion either. He's been absolutely incredible to keep up with this leading pack, this group of veterans, and he's still in P5, watching these giants of the sport do battle. he's got things to learn here, doesn't he, Chris?
Yeah, he's got the pole sitter just ahead of him now as Piero Risciuti has been shuffled back to 4th position at the expense of Christian. All that aggressive riding has paid, and he has paid the price of it, Risciuti. He's now off the podium.
Yeah, but he's still got the 3 riders ahead of him well within his size. Christian, Adrian and Davide Turrisi. We're just seeing Risciuti and Christian on our screens there. As they do battle, look at that. Look at that, what a perfect shot for our TV directors. Just as Piero Risciuti makes that overtake, we could see the faces of both of those gamers. It's now Risciuti who's back on the podium in P3 and looking to get closer and closer to the leading two, Adrian and Turrisi.
Yeah, this has been a brilliant blockbuster race so far. Piero Risciuti has been at the heart of it. Aggressive with every move. It's what we come here to see, Connor. Brilliant racing, brilliant entertainment, but that aggressive move for P3 and that battle for P3 has just given a little bit of a gap now to Davide Turrisi and Adrian. And you know what, Connor? We said it's a dramatic race. It's only going to get more dramatic. Look at that rain falling here in Sepang.
Yeah, we know what that means as well. Flag to flag. There's 2 laps left here. So we might be seeing some real drama as the rain falls. Is anyone going to stay out?
It looks like Risciuti has entered the pits already. He's plummeted down to P11 on our timing screens. That can only mean he's gone in to change bikes. It is a flag-to-flag race here in Sepang. Which way is this going to go?
Yeah, I mean, it's anyone's guess at this point. That gap for Piero Risciuti, 25 seconds and growing. Maybe the bold move of staying out could pay off for these riders, but we'll have to wait and see, because Piero Risciuti is the only rider to have gone in so far. He's going to be emerging now, but he's going to have a huge amount of time to make up here. It's still Turrisi who's leading, and it's still Turrisi who's setting the fastest lap times.
Yeah, it has to be said that the rain and pit lane opened very late on that previous lap, so I just don't think riders had time to adapt. Risciuti, however, very quickly went in. He did not waste any time. So interesting now, will we see more riders enter pit lane as we come around the final turn here, or final couple of corners, I should say, entering into the final sector? It's a bit of a dilemma, because what have we got? Just over a lap and a half remaining here. Davide Turrisi looks like...
Look at that bike shaking as well.
Yeah, look, but you can see it there. The rain is now falling pretty heavily. Piero Risciuti's got about 40 seconds to make up on a lap and a half. It looks like they're not coming around the long lap penalty loop. So this is decision time for the top 3. Turrisi leading. Your championship leader is the race leader once again over Christian and Julito Campion. Christian chasing the first podium of the campaign, and it looks like they've opted not to come in, so they're going to stay out.
Yeah, that's a very bold move.
They have come in. They have come in. I've jumped the gun somewhat there with that, but it looks like now they are all coming in, the top 3. Is anyone going to stay out? Because it is a huge gap to make up. Piero Risciuti has already gone in, yeah. Jack Hammer has stayed out, has he? Jack Hammer has stayed out. The 2-time world champion is rolling the dice.
Bold from Jack Hammer, exactly. He's rolled the dice. Is it going to come off for him? Deepo Akbar as well appears to have stayed out.
Yeah, look at, here we go. Oh, they are crawling.
These bikes are going to get
around.
More and more difficult to control.
Yeah, well, it's a bold decision. Piero Risciuti, we remind you, was the first rider to come in. And at the time of the last lap being completed, I think the gap was about 40 seconds to the lead. The rest of the grid have come in, with the exception of Jack Hammer and Deepo Akbar, who now hold a, 30-second advantage, let's say, as the riders exit pit lane with just over a lap remaining. So, Jack Hammer, let's take a look. Yeah, they're going very slowly here. I think this is going to be a tight one, Connor.
Yeah, it really is. Deepo Akbar as well stayed out. It's going to be incredibly tight, as you say. They're going to need every ounce of concentration they've got if they're going to make this gamble pay off. It's getting more and more difficult to control those bikes. It looks like Jack Hammer's doing it absolutely incredibly, though, as is Deepo Akbar just behind him. Currently P1 and P2, but you have to say, are they going to make that last? Piero Risciuti, the first to go in, is still in P7 there.
Yeah.
We've got Davide Turrisi in P3.
Yeah, I think they're going to catch them, Connor. I'm making a bold prediction here. but I do think they're going to catch them. They're 22 seconds behind now. Davide Turisi leading the chasing pack, just over 20 seconds, but they are coming down. That time is very much coming down, but it's a slip and slide out here. It's almost like your summer holidays at Alton Towers, Connor. But yeah, wow, amazing stuff here. Jackhammer and Deepo Akbar, we remind you, have not gone in to change bikes. They are out on slick tyres as the rain buckets down in Sepang.
Yeah, but you've got the feeling, of course, that they had to try and do something drastic to get back onto the podium. They've both been on the podium already this year in 2025, but neither has really been performing as well as they would have liked. So rolling the dice, they'll be hoping that it pays off. And yeah, you can see the concentration in their eyes.
Look how slow they are around turn 15, though. That is a snail's pace. They've got a 15-second advantage as they clock off onto the final lap there a little bit. Whoa.
You have to say, neither of them has started to crash, though. So
yeah,
for the time being, they are keeping those bikes controlled. The question is whether over the course of this last lap, the other riders are able to make those wet tyres count and really get up to speed and catch up. The times aren't coming down as
so on the last lap, by
my
my calculation, they've gained about 9 seconds, I think, on the two riders, on Jackhammer and Deepo Akbar. There are now 12 or 11 seconds between them, so it's going to be ever so tight. Let's see how conditions play out as well. They can improve, they could get worse as well. One thing I've just noticed as well, Connor, is Piero Rasciuti was the first rider to come in, but it hasn't paid off for him. He's running in P7. He was among the podium places and he was the first rider to come in once pit lane opened, but it seems he just didn't quite get the timing right. What about Jackhammer then? A huge gamble for the defending two-time champion. We have not seen him take a victory yet in 2025. Is that about to change? He's got an less than 8 second advantage. Oh, it is coming down very quickly. Oh, it is drama to the wire here.
Yeah, it's coming down quickly, and it is, as you say, going to go down to the wire. I mean, you do love to see it when these kind of gambles pay off. We saw it with Brad Binder, of course, in 2022, if I'm not mistaken.
We can see Davide Turisi has them in their sights. He has them in their sights, but we're going through the final sector. It could come down to the final couple of straights. But you're right, Brad Binder did it back at the Styrian or Austrian Grand Prix many years ago. And is Jackhammer about to repeat some history
it's like
here?
A heat-seeking missile, this, isn't it, from Turisi and Christian just behind him. They're getting closer and closer. Cue the Jaws music.
They're going to pick off Deepo Akbar here. They're going to pick off Deepo Akbar, but will they have enough time? We're going down the first of the two straights. Jackhammer is holding the lead here. He's got a couple seconds in his pocket. Turisi has taken second position, and Christian is right behind him. Oh, it's going to be ever so tight. They're going to get him. They're going to get him.
It does look like it. I mean, there's a bit of a wry smile on Jackhammer's face there as well. He knew what he did.
Oh, Turisi
so
does
close.
on the line. Oh, wow.
On the podium, there's Turisi. Oh, you can see what it means to him. Absolutely sensational. Also, a fantastic result. You've got to say for Jackhammer and Deepo Akbar, they were not running so high then. And having stayed out, they've managed to make it into the top four and onto the podium in Jackhammer's case.
Yeah, it's another podium this year. It's a second podium for Jackhammer and a much needed one. We do remind you, before pit lane open, he was down in P10, P11 in a battle there. So his gamble did certainly pay off, even if it was a top 5 finish, but he's got a bronze medal and he was ever so close to that victory, wasn't he, Connor?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there were meters in it.
Well, what a race that proved to be in Sepang, and it was decided on the line, Connor. Davide Turisi taking victory. I'm lost for words after it, because Davide Turisi and Christian took the top 2 spots, but it was Jackhammer's risk of staying out on slicks in that wet race that saw him jump up into the podium positions. And if it was a 10 metre shorter race, Jackhammer would have been victorious. Deepo Akbar as well stayed out on slicks. He picks up P4 as Julito Campion and Exor Rocker 5th and 6th. Then it is the pole sitter Piero Rasciuti ahead of Adrian. Adrian did a lot of front running in that race, but has to settle for P8 following the flag to flag madness, while Baldacci, Galina Davi and Daniele Aloe were the rest of the finishers. And this is what it does to the championship standings in 2025. Davide Turisi is now out to 90 points and holds a commanding 32-point advantage over Piero Rasciuti. Jackhammer's bronze medal in Sepang sees him jump back up to the bronze medal position in the standings. He's 38 points behind now the championship leader, with Christian in fourth. Our rookie, Julito Campion, is tied on points with Deepo Akbar. They are fifth and sixth, and it is very close from there on in. Adrian and Daniele Aloe also tied on points, and then it is Baldacci and Exorak who are also tied on points in 9th and 10th. Well, Galina Davi completes the standings as things stand in 2025. But Connor, an absolutely superb race. Drama all the way through, and one I thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah, absolutely. It was one of those races where it's impossible to say where to begin. I mean, there was drama from start to finish, as you said. Obviously, we should begin chronologically, and there was drama right from the beginning. Look at how we got away. Davide Teresi leading. We've become so accustomed to seeing him leading, but then Adrian just showed up and showed why he is the veteran in MotoGP esports, really showing that experience. And that battle was just excellent for all of us who were bearing witness to it.
Absolutely. Adrian did a lot of the early front running, but did run it wide at turn one, and that opened the door for Davide Teresi, as you could see there a few moments ago. And then Piero Rasciuti came barging through, and he attacked Teresi out front. And all bets were off at this point, because you had four riders just going blow for blow. As you can see here, Rasciuti and Teresi running it wide as Rasciuti made a move for the lead, and that opened the door for Adrian. And you can see Piero Rasciuti less than pleased there. That dropped him back to fourth position, where he battled Christian for the third place, for provisional P3. And then this happened, Connor.
Yeah.
The rain began to fall. Piero Rasciuti was one of the first in. Jack Hammer and Deepo Akbar opted to stay out, and here we go. That's how close it was.
I mean, photo finish, absolutely sensational, and you can see what it meant to Davide Teresi there. I mean, that is pure emotion. Deepo Akbar very happy with that P4 as well, it looks like, I think. I'm not sure. Jack Hammer doing so well as well to get onto that podium. And I believe you mentioned it when just a bit earlier. If there was just that straight was 10 meters less, it could have been an entirely different picture, Chris, couldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It would have been Deepo Akbar on the podium. It would have been Jack Hammer victorious, but instead it is Teresi who goes 2 from 2 in Global Series Round 2, and he was joined on the podium, of course, by Christian. So some brilliant stuff from Sepang. Very enjoyable race, Connor.
Yeah, a very enjoyable race, and I'm sure we're going to have an even more enjoyable one coming up in Portimao. Let's take a look at the circuit.
Portimao then been on the calendar, I believe, of the motorsports calendar in 2021, and what a circuit it is, nestled among the beautiful setting of Portugal's Algarve. The undulating circuit as well, the iconic exit of Turn 8 over the hill. We often see riders bunny hopping through there, a long straight into Turn 1 with a shorter 4 to 5 run to the run as well. But yeah, this is going to be a rider that tests everybody's skills, Connor.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be really difficult for all of our riders here to really get to grips with this circuit. It's their final opportunity for points in round 2 here of the 2025 Global Series, and they're all going to be trying to grab it by the scruff of the neck. So that said, let's go racing in Portimao. It's time then for race 4 of the 2025 MotoGP Esports Global Series. We're in the stunning Algarve in Portimao, a truly unique setting for the conclusion to round 2. We've only been here twice before, so this really is anyone's race, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. But all eyes will be on the pole sitter, the terrific Teresi, who is 2 for 2 in Global Series Round 2. He starts on pole position ahead of Christian, with Piero Rasciuti outside of the front row. Then it's Adrian, Daniele Aloy and Julito Campion, the ever-impressive rookie. Jack Hammer, Flavio Baldacci, Galina Davi make up the third row. And then it is Deepo Akbar and Exer Rock completing the grid for our third visit to Portimao. And well, we've had one exceptional race. Well, we've had 2 exceptional races, but one particularly exceptional race in Sepang. Let's hope we have some more here in Portimao.
Yeah, the lights are on. They're about to get going. The lights are off, and it is Teresi who gets a great start from pole yet again. Really the in-form rider to beat as we go down into the opening corner, and Teresi already ahead. Christian goes a bit wide. That's opened the door for Daniele Aloy, for Piero Rasciuti. Jack Hammer just not quite close enough. Oh, what a start this has been for Teresi, and it's one that we've become very accustomed to.
Yeah.
Look at this battling here as well. Ricciuti, Aloe there, Adrian, and Christian taking full advantage of that issue there for Adrian. Christian now into P4, Ricciuti P3, Daniele Aloe in P2, but it's Teresi who's leading.
Yeah, Piero Ricciuti then making move for P3 against Christian as well, but it is Teresi, the dream start. Portimao perfection from pole then for the Italian as he is up and running without any issues. Now we see some new contenders coming through that we haven't quite seen in this round so far. Christian, of course, was on the podium last time out, but I am looking at Daniele Aloe, who's looking for a little bit of vindication, shall we say. He finished further back than he would have liked in Sepang. He's now running in the podium positions as Piero Ricciuti and Christian go side by side there, as we can see both riders as well. Ricciuti battling hard to hold on to P3, but Christian putting him under all sorts of pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we showed a bit of contact between the duo earlier, and this is a real duel on this opening lap between Christian and Piero Ricciuti. Is Christian going to be able to get a bit closer, trying to make a move there? Not quite close enough. They can still see the leader in their sights as they go onto the start-finish straight.
So we are going Piero Ricciuti, following Piero Ricciuti as we go down the start-finish straight. A little dip downhill. Christian showing the inside line, but we're looking on board with Adrian now as he closes up on Christian. So it looks like another brilliant podium battle is about to unravel here. But Davide Teresi is still leading out front. He's pretty calm and composed. But what I will say, Connor, is that these riders in pursuit, the top 5, can all see him and are very, very close to him. So they're not letting him get away, as Adrian was going to have a little look up the inside there, but didn't quite get there. The door was closed in front of him by Ricciuti.
Yeah, the door was closed really well by Ricciuti as well, because it did look like there was enough space there for Christian to make the move. He wasn't able to do so. Ricciuti maintains that grip on P3, but how tight that grip is remains to be seen. Oh, what a move there! And that is Ricciuti, who's now been pushed wide by Christian, who moves into P3. Oh, Ricciuti will be furious with that one. We are with Daniele Aloe now on that Ducati Lenovo machine. His 3rd year in red. Pure concentration as he looks to get on the podium for the first time in this round 2 in the 2025 MotoGPeSport Global Series, but the battle is happening behind him.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of aggressive moves across races 3 and 4, of course, in the sprint as well in Mandalika, and this is no exception here. Piero Ricciuti was sticking out some really aggressive moves last time out, but he was on the receiving end of one there from Christian. But look at that, Davide Teresi is now opening up that gap, and he is your championship leader. He will take the championship lead out of Global Series round 2 and into the next round. Oh, and that is a crash, is it, for Christian? And he is going to drop down the pecking order there and hand the bronze medal position back to Piero Ricciuti. Yeah,
we'll have to see where Christian ends up. He's in P9 for the time being, 5 seconds behind now. Oh, he'll be so frustrated, and it just goes to show that any lack of concentration can prove so costly. But Piero Ricciuti won't complain as he saw that bike spinning out ahead of him. He now moves into P3, and now we're with Jackhammer in P5, who's really caught up with this leading group and is now on the back wheel of Adrian. 2 who are very used to battling it out in duels. 2 world champions as well, double world champions, I should say. So there's just 4 world championships on our screen right now between Jackhammer and Adrian.
Yeah, absolute pedigree there on our screen, and Julito Campion from their rookie is looking to get in amongst it as well. He is chasing down Jackhammer. Jackhammer, of course, on our last visit here, it was a Tissot sprint, and Jackhammer was on pole position and took the victory as well across those couple of laps. But this is a full-length race, and as you see from the onboard of Jackhammer, Julito Campion running it very, very wide. So, bit of breathing room now for the Gresini rider as he begins his pursuit of the podium places.
Yeah, he's got plenty of time to do it, and we've got plenty of time to see the best of Jackhammer as well, which is something that we have really missed over the course of these 2 opening rounds of the 2025 Global Series. But what we've been missing from Jackhammer, we've been getting from Davide Teresi, who's really put on a masterclass. I think at the beginning of this race, Chris, you said terrific Teresi. Well, he's been absolutely wonderful, and from start to finish, real composure, and real consistency as well, which can be so important.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the key word here. Teresi has been nigh on untouchable in 2025, and he's been so consistent taking those victories. While consistency is key, of course, to winning, you need to be consistent to stay in the championship fight, and it's just not happening. And Piero Rasciuti's gone down. I was just about to say Piero Rasciuti is one of the consistent riders, keeping himself in it, but that is a hammer blow. Adrian down as well, and Davide Teresi has got a problem. He has dropped from first to sixth in a matter of seconds. What has gone wrong for the championship leader? Just as we were singing his praises of consistency, he plummets to fifth on the timesheets.
Oh, we'll have to wait and see exactly what happened there. It could get worse for Teresi as well. He's got Christian right behind him.
Yeah, Christian now swarming all over his rear tyre, as is Deepo Akbar. But look what that has done now. Out front, Daniele Aloe leads as Jack Hammer jumps up to P2. And what a result this would be for the Gresini rider. He's had an underwhelming start to his title defence, but he pulled it out of the bag in Sepang in that flag to flag, staying out on slicks, picking up a P3. Follow that up with a P2, and he's right back in contention for the title.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's still everything to play for here, even as Teresi leads the championship. There's plenty of time.
Yeah. Flavio Baldacci then is up into third position. What a result this would be for the Prima Pramac Yamaha MotoGP rider. Yeah. He is capitalizing on all the chaos, I think is the only way we could say, the only way to describe what has happened in front of him. But Julito Campion now is coming and attacking.
What about this from Campione? Like, Baldacci is still looking for that first podium of his MotoGP eSport career, but now it's Julito Campion who looks set to deny him it and has now moved on to the last of the rostrum spots.
Yeah, and now Baldacci has more problems from behind because Teresi and Christian are challenging. Teresi has worked his way through on him, and he has Christian chasing down Flavio Baldacci for P5, but it's Julito Campion, as you quite rightly say, who is in P3. But the championship leader is coming, and looks like he has regained his momentum. He has regained his pace. Is this only a matter of time, or can Julito Campion hold on for what would be a very memorable podium in Portimao?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a question of composure for both of these gamers now. You've got the veteran, you've got the favourite so far in the shape of Davide Teresi, but Julito Campion has been sensational. 2 podiums to his name in 2025 in his rookie season. That is unprecedented. Absolutely wonderful stuff from Campion, but the pressure is on as Davide Teresi gets closer and closer.
Yeah, Teresi, you can visibly see it now that he is all over that rear tyre of the Yamaha rider. Where is this move going to come? Where is the attack going to come from the Aprilia rider who leads the championship, who was comfortably leading this race until he encountered a problem and plummeted down to P6 in a matter of a couple meters of, 100 meters from P1 to P6. So the Aprilia rider now is all about just gaining some points and perhaps a podium.
I mean, you could never say that anyone's comfortable leading a MotoGP eSports when you've got riders of this caliber coming up behind you, but he did look good. Daniele Aloe looked very comfortable, a gap of 2.3 seconds there to him at the front. But yeah, just back to Teresi, he's not finished off the podium yet. I mean, the only race that he didn't win, he finished third, so this would be very, very poor by his incredibly high standards so far this season.
Yeah, absolutely. But points, as before all the drama unfolded, we were talking about consistency, Connor. And I was going to make the point that while Teresi is the runaway leader, being consistent in just getting those P3s, P4s, picking up those points is so crucial to a title tilt. And now this is where it comes in clutch for Davide Teresi. He may not get the win, but he will get good points. He will outscore his main title rivals. Piero Rasciuti running down in P9, Adrian in P7. Jack Hammer will gain some ground on him, so it is just about a damage limitation at this point perhaps for Teresi, because it looks like he just doesn't have enough time to catch the riders ahead of Julito Campion. So maybe the best he can hope for is a P3 here and head to Milan with a solid, if not comfortable, championship advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to say that Julito Campion is doing Jack Hammer a real service. He's doing incredibly well. And there's contact there as Christian goes through on Davide Torrisi. Drama and more drama here in Portugal.
Yeah, this is the opposite of what we were just saying. We were saying to hold on to the P4, to maybe go for the P3, but now he's back in P5 and handing more points back to Jack Hammer. However, the saving grace here is that Piero Rusciuti is running down in P9, so he will outscore his closest championship rival coming into this race. We will see how it, of course, all affects and how it all plays out as we have a lap and a half remaining here in Portimao. But as things stand, it's Daniele Aloe who's comfortably leading. He's got a near 2-second advantage over the defending 2-time world champion Jack Hammer, with the rookie Julito Campion in third. But for how long, Connor? Because Christian is mounting an assault on the podium.
Yeah, assault is the right word. Absolutely sensational stuff from Christian. He's taken down Torrisi. Now he's got Julito Campion ahead. But he's got to fight on both fronts here. He's got to be aggressive and defensive at the same time. But you've got to say, smelling blood. And there he goes on that KTM machine.
Yeah, we know that KTM is absolutely no slouch.
A monster
down
on the
long straights. And he makes it count there. Christian is now in the podium positions on the final lap here in Portimao. What does Julito Campion have in response for the KTM rider? Well, Davide Torrisi now is getting involved in this battle too.
Yeah, just throwing him his front wheel there. It's still Christian who's in P3. But this is becoming very, very difficult for Julito Campion to manage.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like all eyes on the battle for bronze here in Portimao. It looks like Daniele Aloe has an unassailable lead out front, and Jack Hammer's lead in second place looks pretty comfortable at this point. But it's all about that battle for bronze. Here is Daniele Aloe as he is looking calm, composed and brilliant in Portimao.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, all this battling behind plays very much into his favour. Just see it here, Torrisi still in P5 with Julito Campion and Christian ahead of him. And Jack Hammer as well. It looks like Christian was just close enough to make a move there. Didn't quite fancy it, but it could still come with what's remaining of this lap.
Here we go. We're just going around the couple corners left. Nothing left now for Daniele Aloe down the dip. And the long swerving right-hander. He is going to be our race winner here at Portimao. Brilliant from the Ducati rider as he takes victory in Portimao. Which way is the podium going to go? It's Jack Hammer who comes home in P2, and Christian looks to have done enough to hold on to P3 despite the immense pressure from the riders behind, including championship leader Davide Torrisi.
Here we have then our final results after the Race 4 in Portugal. Daniele Aloe with an unsurmountable lead, full 2.171 seconds ahead of Jack Hammer, comes away with the win. And it was Jack Hammer indeed, alongside Christian, who were also on the podium. Our rookie Julito Campion finished in P4. Davide Torrisi off the podium for the first time, finished P5. Flavio Baldacci P6. Adrian in 7th. Piero Ricciuti in 8th. Deepo Akbar in 9th. Il Galina Davi 10th. And Exaroc 11th in Portugal. All that meant that the championship finishes round 2 looking like this. It is still Davide Torrisi who leads on 101 points. He's followed by Jack Hammer, just 29 points between them. Then it's Daniele Aloe on 67. 1 point behind him, Piero Ricciuti with 66. Christian, 5th with 60 points. Julito Campion, the rookie, 6th with 56. Adrian, 7th. Deepo Akbar, 8th. Flavio Baldacci, 9th. Exaroc, 10th. And Il Galina Davi, 11th. Absolutely incredible the way it's all lining up now, Chris. I think at the beginning of that race, I said it was anyone's to win, and it proved to be just that, didn't it?
Yeah, it was an absolutely spectacular race. We had a number of riders in the podium positions. It was so unpredictable. It was the perfect launch from the line as well for Davide Torrisi. It looked like he was going to do the clean sweep here during round 3, but as you can see, or as we will see very shortly, he encountered some drama a little bit later on. Then we had Daniele Aloe, who perhaps underperformed somewhat slightly in the last couple of races. He was out for a little bit of vengeance, I would say, and he was riding brilliantly in P2 when Piero Rusciuti and Adrian, as you can see there, were battling away.
Yeah, the battles between Daniele Lowe and Piero Ricciuti were absolutely sensational. And I'll have to say, Christian was up there as well. It was absolutely fantastic. Ricciuti showing his frustration there as he saw his hopes for a podium fade on lap 5. Julito Campion was absolutely sensational as well. Really important to bring him up. He did so well to battle with Flavio Baldacci in those later stages of the race.
Yeah, ultimately, though, the rookie just missing out on the podium places despite brilliant effort to keep that P3. But as you can see here, Christian, who battled his way past him. He did manage to hold off, though, the challenge of Davide Turrisi, which came a little bit later. But race 4 is all about one rider, and that is Daniele Aloe, Connor. A superb ride from the Ducati rider.
Yeah, it really was Daniele Aloe's race today. He finished over 2 seconds faster than Giacomo, his closest rival, who I do believe we're going to be able to speak to very shortly indeed. Our reigning champion, Giacomo, we'll be hearing from him very soon, and we are indeed with him now. Giacomo, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
Not bad at all. So first of all, we saw you with an incredibly brave decision to stay out in race 3 in Malaysia. It came so close, right down to the wire. Tell us about that. What was going through your mind then?
Well, because of the incident at turn 1, I just thought, you know what, I'll just stay out on slicks, and I'd rather finish last taking a risk than just being last on merit. So I just took the risk. I knew roughly how fast and what the gaps were, and unfortunately, just because I had a second crash in the turn 1 incident, that cost me more than 0.3 of a second, which I lost by. But I was just happy to get back on the podium, really, because I'm having a bit of a nightmare. But yeah, just happy, and weirdly, Sepang have gone first in 2023, second in 2024, now finished third in 2025. So probably next time I race at Sepang, I'll probably finish P4.
Yeah, it was certainly a bold decision, Jack. And only if the finish line was 10 metres shorter, you would have been a race winner. But let's look a little bit more forward. Now, you are second in the standings heading to Milan Games Week. Of course, last year you didn't head there as the championship leader, but we all know what happened. 3 brilliant victories there launched you to the World Championship. So how are you feeling ahead of Milan, second in the standings? And do you think you could repeat the feat this year?
I mean, my feeling of the game at the moment is not fantastic. I'm having some problems. I can't ride the way I want to. But I still actually have no idea how I'm second in the championship, because it's felt like I'm nowhere near as consistent as the past 2 years. But, you know, last year there was a 60-something point swing between me and Daniele. So, I mean, anyone can still win it if they go and win all 3 races. But it's going to be difficult to beat Davide, because he seems to be the strongest one, most consistent, doesn't make too many mistakes. So just going to wait to see what the weather brings for each 3 tracks, how my feeling is with the game, what the feeling is like in Milan. And hopefully I can take a hat-trick of titles and join interest.
Well, never to say never, Jack. We've seen you do it before, and I don't think anyone would say that you couldn't do it again. Best of luck for Milan.
Cheers.
Well, the words from Giacomo there, 2-time world champion. Not quite as confident, maybe, as I would have thought.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he said it there himself that consistency is key this year. He feels he hasn't been as consistent as he has been in the previous 2 campaigns. But yes, he's still, I think it was just under 30 points, 29 if I remember off the top of my head, behind Davide Turrisi, who he himself has earmarked as the favourite for the championship. So maybe a few mind games happening ahead of Milan.
Maybe. Well, that's all we've got time for really here in round 2 of this global series. For the final round in Milan, we're going to be able to enjoy the sprint in Aragon, race 5 in Le Mans, and race 6, how fitting, at Mugello.
So that is it for Global Series Round 2. What a round it has been, Connor, and I personally cannot wait for the end of November, because we will be in Milan bringing you all the action where it's double the drama and double the points and everything to play for at Milan Games Week.
We'll see you there.